YouTube, what it is, it's your boy Gettin, and I'm back with another video. So pull up your chair, open your ears, let's get it.
YouTube, what it is, your boy Gettin, and we are back in the booth. Anyway, so I wanted to do a highlight video of the Undisputed Developer Roundtable. They spoke about the last update, and you know what? I gotta give them props. I like what they said. Here's what they said.
And so I'm going to acknowledge that because they'll definitely say it in the comments. But basically, yeah, I mean, I think we put out an update last week that didn't quite land the way that we wanted it to. And that's one of these things about game development, right? That sometimes you have these moments where you go, yeah, that didn't land quite the way that we wanted. It wasn't, didn't accomplish what we had hoped. When you think about early access, one, it's like, we know it's a journey, and, we're going to take our time and try to get things right and continue to improve the game. And I think with this update, I think maybe we made some players feel like we don't fully understand, the issues that they're experiencing with the game. And that's because some of the changes, especially like the balance changes, are things that are like partial changes that, in the context of other things that we'll do in the future that might make sense, but alone didn't really work out the way that we wanted or would have hoped in terms of how they were received. So I guess the first thing is, sorry guys, we need to do better than we did and communicate better around that kind of stuff.
So yes, this is kind of rare for a developer to publicly and openly and stream state that their last update just didn't hit, and they're right, it really didn't. It was a pretty bad update, but the interesting thing that they did say was there's a lot more to come, and this update is kind of updated in compartments, and they thought that this portion of the update wouldn't be so bad. They thought that it would translate a little bit better to the game. Unfortunately, it didn't. We have to see what they have planned for the future. So that sounds pretty good, even though I would like for them to be a little bit more transparent, and you'll see what I'm saying. So Ash is about to talk about stamina and their plans on what they're going to do. Notice they didn't really give away their plans. They're not being so transparent, and that's what I mean. But here, take a listen.
So, I mean, look, stamina and the changes that we're making, it's a big one, right? And it's one that I want to make sure we get it right. The experience for a player, right? So I think the overall feedback right now in terms of stamina is you can throw like 1,000 punches, 1,200 punches, and the game essentially isn't punishing enough in terms of what you can do. So we're looking to obviously make that right balance between the AI and obviously PvP. So we are making those changes, which the end result will be you won't be able to throw those 13, 14, 1,500 punches in a full match and still end up with a big chunk of stamina. So
all right, so Ash stated a lot of great things, but the one thing I think that's being missed is what stamina does, meaning what's the actual penalty of stamina. I think they're missing that. And again, I keep saying those slow motion punches are a game killer. A lot of people don't talk about those slow motion punches yet, but they will. Once they fix stamina, once they see, oh, the stamina is okay, but why am I still throwing these slow motion punches? Why am I throwing these punches that look like my arm is broken? Why am I not connecting when I know I should be connecting? Stuff like that, that's going to be the next complaint. And hopefully, or eventually, I hope they get to that point where they understand those slow motion punches, that mechanic, that idea, is just not a good idea. They really have to change those slow motion punches. And that's just not me being subjective. That's also me being objective. Objectively speaking, those slow motion punches are highly unrealistic. But if they're making a realistic game, an authentic game, a simulation game, Those slow motions are neither of those things. Look at boxing, a real boxing match. Look at when boxers get tired. They're not throwing slow motion punches. Their accuracy isn't so great. Their movement speed isn't so great. Their power diminishes. Right? So why the slow motion punches? They got to change that. Take that out.
You know, we knew this was going to happen as well, right? There's an element of using early access to make sure we improve the game as much as we can. And for example, having a game like Undisputed, with our relatively limited QA team in terms of the size, it's one thing trying to balance everything internally, with a very small number of people, and then, as soon as that's out in the open, and then having, a lot of people then playing the game and giving us that feedback. So the pool of data is just obviously a lot bigger. And again, this is something that we're expecting as far as not just balancing, but every aspect of the game, right?
He mentions the small development team that they have. I think that, you know what? Why don't you get a group of gamers to help you make the next updates and test the updates before they go live? Maybe the gamers in that group could tell you, hey, you know what? Those slow motion punches are not a good idea. But no, for real. Maybe these gamers could tell you, hey, I don't think you should do this. I think you should do that. I think that would be even more beneficial, and that would help out the solution that he brought up just now. Great point.
Because right now, I'm gonna say this. I know you guys are gonna be so mad, because spammage can lead to damage, Ash. We can't have that.
Something wrong, it's true. But what are we doing when it comes to the damage and the location, like location specific damage, things of that nature?
So look, we've completely changed the system.
Bravo to their work ethic. Nobody could ever question the work ethic of Steel City Interactive. Much respect to them. I would clap, but I don't want to try to distort the sound of my video.
So I think that's something the community will be glad to hear about. So whilst we haven't, replaced or gotten rid of, the individual damage side, so you have left, center, and right for both head and body. So there's essentially 6 damage zones. So the damage zones still exist, but we've changed it in a way where you can't just spam like one side of the face and then hopefully that will knock that person out or get that person into a dazed state. So we've changed it to a system which we feel is more balanced and fair. So we now we've implemented a system now which has an overall head health and an overall body health. So you can still spam the same side, but it's not going to give you the same result as the game currently kind of provides. So it's just more of a balanced approach. And again, it will encourage players to use combinations, because when I play the game, I play as like a trying to play as a genuine boxing fight where I wouldn't expect a boxer to go in and just throw 100 left hooks.
The problem is spamming can mean so many things. And the 2 things that I'm going to talk about when it comes to spamming in Undisputed is they mentioned spamming with one punch or one hook, right, on one side. But the other spamming that they didn't mention was spamming with both hands, right? They didn't mention that. And that's the real spamming. That's the problem. That's the real problem. The spamming left and right hook all night long, right? That's the problem. That spamming needs to be fixed, but not really. And hear what I'm about to say. They could use that to their advantage to make their game a little bit more realistic. I say that because boxers in the ring could spam a left-right hook. They could spam their left hook. They could spam their right hook. When Benavidez beat the brakes off David Lemieux, what did he do when the refs called the fight? He was spamming his damn right hand. I got a video of it. Y'all looking at it right now. He was literally spamming his punch. If they make their punches look like that, nobody would complain, right? Especially if they're connecting, you know? The problem is the damage, and Ash mentioned the damage. He didn't mention exactly what the complete change is, and I wish he would have expounded on that. I wish they would have been more transparent when it came to the actual changes. Yeah, great. I'm glad that you guys completely revamped the damage in one game. That's astounding. That's crazy. But what are those changes? Who's to say when you make your complete change, your complete redesign of the damage system, it's going to work? Right? Why don't you talk about it? Why don't you give a demo of it so that we can tell you already, hey, I don't know if that's the right thing, or yeah, that's really exciting, I can't wait for that. So you know where you're going with this game. Undisputed, Steel City Interactive, they're still going to be making mistakes, and their work ethic off the charts. I think that they're doing a great thing. I honestly do. But there are still some areas of concern. I think that this game will eventually be much better than it is right now. It has to be much better than it is right now, because right now it's real tedious. They gotta change. They gotta make some changes and make them somewhat quickly before they lose their base. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of make a video about this and talk about it. It's your boy Get It. Peace. We out.
Gamers, if you made it this far, and if you like the content, please like the content. Please hit the notification bell. I have content like these 2 videos that are released daily. And until then, we are out of here.